Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy 6shot and 6shot Gaming Channel, and I am back with another SoulCalibur 6 video for y'all. This video is going to be more tips on Azwel, and basically more so correcting some things I said in my Azwel guide video, which I dropped during, I believe, week 1, and the frame data was not out yet, and it was not that much exploration to him. I did as much as I could in train mode, but there are some stuff that having to deal with frames that came out that I had to give y'all to correct some of the stuff I said in the Azwel guide video. And it was brought to my attention by I don't know if he's a sub, but someone commented, so shout outs to you. I can't remember your name right now, but shout outs to you for commenting that I was wrong about a couple things when it comes to the frames. And he pointed out the reason why I was wrong and so on and so forth. So after further testing, I figured out that he was correct. So shout out to you for bringing this to my attention. And I want to bring this information to y'all as well in a video to help some players understand Azwel. So let's get on with the video. So in my guide, I said that if you hit your opponent with down 4A, that you are at negative frames, because even though Taki gets hit, she's able to beat out your AA attack with her own AA, which is 10 frames. And Azwel AA is 10 frames as well, which I figured out. So you could crush it, but you wouldn't be able to beat out with AA. But that is wrong, and the reason why that is wrong, because you could do something like this. Now, Azwel's forward B is 14 frames, and it's clearly slower than his AA, which is 10 frames. I'm about to say 10 frames, which is 10 frames, but I'm clearly able to beat out Taki when I use my 4B after my down 4A. Now, why is that? You're probably asking. Now, I'm going to clear that up for you. So, I figured out that Azwel, if you do any move outside of his stance moves, or sword, or whatever you want to call it, the stance move that he was just in, it takes him 8 frames to leave that stance and to enter the second stance. So he's pretty weird when it comes to that. And I don't know if he's the only character in this game that's like that, but he's pretty weird. So example, right? So I do down BB, which is +8 on the hit, and then I do AA as a follow-up, and I'm clearly able to beat out Taki's AA, because I'm +8, right? Now, I do down, in this clip, I'm doing down BB, and then forward B. Azwel's forward B is 14 frames. So, if I'm +8, I should be clearly able to beat out Taki's 10 frame move, because now her fastest move is going to come out in 18 frames, right? But the thing about that is because Azwel's forward B is an axe mode. And since it takes 8 frames to leave out of sword mode and go into axe mode, I basically lost all my advantage, and now I'm doing a move that was initially 14 frames, but now because of the 8 frames it takes to leave one stance into another stance, that 14 frame move now becomes 22 frames, because now you just do 14 + 8 and so on and so forth. So these things, when playing Azwel, is really important, because when you have frame advantage and now you don't know that you're losing frame advantage by switching stances, you're losing out on your frame advantage on hit or on block and so on and so forth. So your opponent will be beating you out and certain stuff. So this is very important when it comes to playing Azwel. So let me show off another example, right? So now I'm going to show an example with spare mode, right? A spare mode move. So down BB on hit is +8. So if I do down BB, I'm trying to do 4B, which is 14 frames, and I'm getting beaten out. And I just explained the reason why, because it takes you 8 frames to leave out of a certain mode already. So if I'm in spare mode and I try to go into sword or axe mode, is going to take me 8 frames to leave. Now, I just showed an example, which you just seen a clash happen. I did down BB, which is 8 frames, and then I did my 10 frame AA. Now, since it takes you 8 frames to leave out of that mode, my 10 frame AA is now going to be 18 frames. And since I'm +8 already, we're both at 18 frames as we're doing our move. So now Taki's AA and my AA is going to clash, and it's going to obviously clash with each other. Now, another example, my down BB is +8 and it's 18 frames. So I could do down BB and another down BB and obviously beat up my opponent. Down BB is the fastest spare mode move that Azwel has. Any other spare mode move Azwel has is not that fast. So keep that in mind. So going back to what I was showing in the very beginning. Sorry for the misinformation, but this is actually plus on block. It's only negative if you're using the wrong type of mode. But there are some moves that doesn't abide by this 8 frames to switch stance thing. And these moves are the moves that put you into almighty mode. One example would be 8-way run A+B. This move puts you into almighty mode, and you have regular advantage of your frames. You don't have to worry about this 8 frames and I gotta do a certain move and so on to keep my advantage and so on and so forth. Because you can do any move you want out of it correctly to the frames, and you're going to be able to keep your frame advantage like normal. So 8-way run A+B is +6 on hit. So as long as you use your frame advantage accordingly and do any move that's up to 16 frames, you should be able to beat out Taki or whoever who has the certain whatever type of frames they have. In this instance, Taki's AA is 10 frames, so I could do any move up into 15 frames and it will always beat out Taki. But if I do any move slower than or slower than 15 frames, 16 and up, it will not beat her out. So the same rules applies when it comes to break attack moves. If you do a break attack move, but if you try to do another move that's not within that stance of the break attack move, you will lose all your frame advantage. But if you do a move that's within the stance of the break attack move, you will keep your frame advantage. Obviously, you could do moves, just like what I just showed, that if the frame advantage is large enough that you could sacrifice that 8 frames of delay and keep a pressure with a 10 frame AA. But if you don't do a move that's like 10 frame AA like what I just did, you will get beaten out, even with the +8 frame advantage from full crouch. I can't talk right now. But anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. So these are very, very important things with Azwel. So to sum it up, basically, because this is pretty much the end of the video. So to sum it up, if you do a move that grants you plus frames, hit or block, if you want to keep advantage of your plus frames, you will have to do a move within the same stance of the move you just did to not lose your plus frames. Example, if I did a axe mode move and it hit and it gave me a certain amount of plus frames, I had to do another axe mode move to keep my plus frames. But if I do a axe mode into a sword mode move, then it's going to take me 8 frames to get out of the axe mode and switch to sword mode, and I'm going to lose my plus frames. So keep that in mind. But like always, people, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, check out some of the past content. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell to get alerted every single time I drop a new vid for y'all. Also, you want to help support my channel in any type of way at all, please check the description box below, find out ways to do so. But like always, people, have a nice day. Peace.